Hey, how you doing? It's the fucking preamble to the show I don't like, where we say out loud, clearly and distinctly, that we're aware we're being surveilled, that we don't like it, that we didn't ask for it. If someone's making money off of this, it isn't us, and we want it to fucking stop. I mentioned in our prepared statement a few months back, and again yesterday, that we're aware that, like, the idea that this is some massive government cover up that anyone getting very close to would be thrown in Gitmo for, and that's the reason why no one talks to us about it directly, is wrong, is a lie, straight up and down. Here's how we know that. I want to dive into it a little bit deeper. Um, if we were, say, labeled as a terrorist, we constantly define ourselves as leftist, occasionally anarchist. We post and boost inflammatory memes sometimes. Um, and it seems like the sort of behavior that this unbelievably petty fucking administration would go ahead and call terrorist behavior. By the way, fascist organizations don't suddenly announce that they are fascists. They announce that anti fascists are the enemies of the state. All right, that well worn saw put aside. If that was the case, there are so many ways to surveil a person, especially someone like us who lives most of our lives online. Um, it would be unbelievably easy to just track us quietly without us ever knowing about it. And it would be unbelievable, it would be useful to do that if they thought we were a terrorist, because it would allow us to just go about our usual things and then talk to whoever it is that we might talk to uh, spread our anti-fascist agenda and meet up with cells or cadres or whatever the fuck. And it's so much easier to do that when the person doesn't know they're being surveilled. But people have gone out of their way to make sure we know that we're being watched. And the purpose of the system is to do what it does. People, whoever is at the top of this, we still don't know. We honestly don't give a fuck. Whoever it is deserves to be sued into the ground. Hey, if you can help us with that, we're at joyandsolace@gmail.com or on the Fediverse at Eternal September at thick.horse. We would love for whoever's doing this to face some comeuppance. But uh, to go back to the thing, so whatever the purpose of this is, crucial to it is the idea that we know we're being watched. Because people just fall over themselves to let us goddamn know. That's not the behavior of someone who's trying to quietly collect information on a person or a group. That is the behavior of someone who's wanting to, like, keep someone the fuck in line. It so happens that we're just like this. We're just weird. We don't do things that are illegal most of the time. We try not to do anything immoral. Illegal and immoral are different things. It's not to our benefit, and I don't know to whose benefit it could be. We simply do not see whatever the fucking value prop is. But there's absolutely zero value prop for a government organization trying to, like, corral dissidents. So again, we reject the idea that no one can tell us anything. We acknowledge that it is difficult and it does expose someone trying to help us to a certain degree of hasslement and danger, but not to the extent that they'll disappear forever off the face of the earth. I think people are trying to convince us that we're actually just getting people killed by talking. That's not something we actually believe. The, I don't know what the I don't know what the fuck to tell you. It's another like trying to keep you in line thing. It's another hey, if you press this button, it makes a shouty noise 2 rooms away. You don't care if we hurt you, but what if we hurt your friends? Does that sound like does it sound like the psychological reasoning of a regular person or does it sound like the psychological reasoning of a fucking would-be supervillain? I I don't understand if you think we're on the wrong side of this. Fuck. Um I'll say it again, hey, we would love it if we had something in our hands to fight back. We will fight back on our own. We just need the actual tools to be able to do that because right now we have nothing. We are aware we're punching at fog. And it's not that the fog isn't dangerous, but the we need the tools to make it solid so we can actually do the punching and have it do a goddamn thing. So, hey, joyinsolace@gmail.com. Eternal September at thick.horse. Or on Discord at Joyous Amalgamation. Or, and then we have the YouTube channel and the Twitch channel. And again, if you think that you're talking to us, but whoever you're talking to, the communication does not come from one of those places, you are not talking to us. Eat that person into the fucking sun. I'm going to play the music. Then we're going to play more Talos Principle. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all those who do not feel represented by an oppressive gender binary, I forgot to hit the button. Hello. How are you doing? I'm the Eternal September. You're whoever the hell you say you are, for better or for worse. I'd like it if you were better. You'd like it better too if you gave it a shot. Um, and we're going to play some more Talos Principle too. The second Talos Principle. I forgot to change the title in Twitch's backend, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'll deal with it when I upload it to YouTube. So, let's real quickly run through the content warnings. Talos Principle 2 is a puzzle game in which we are a robot on an island with other robots. The descendants? Yes, that's the word I want. The descendants of humanity, which has been wiped from the earth as a result of a whole bunch of bullshit. We are faced with a megastructure, which we are trying to puzzle out the purpose of, and in order to do that, we are solving puzzles based around bending lasers and putting boxes on switches. It is a game that plays with philosophical concepts around what society is or should be. There is not non-violence in the video game. I'm not going to make the joke about nuns again. Uh, there is some violence in the video game because there are things which sometimes explode if you do the puzzle wrong. But it is not treated in any way graphically. We just get exploded and then get reset. Or actually, we haven't seen any of those yet. It's possible they're not in this. It's possible they dropped the. It's possible they dropped those puzzle elements for 2. I can't remember right now. We'll see as we go forward. But it might be there. I feel the need to give a light sensitivity and motion sickness warning. Light sensitivity because occasionally the game will provide us with scenes that have like flashing lights in them, and motion sickness because the frame rate is going to be rather low, and there's very little I can do about that. I've done everything I can internally to make the frame rate go as well as it can, and I've turned off like screen shake and head bob and everything like that. But just because of the way it looks, it's possible that it might still trigger some motion sickness. Uh, I apologize for this. I think that's it for the game. Content warnings for myself. I am a strange person who occasionally makes weird sex jokes or speaks frankly about my trauma. And if that's not your vibe, that's okay. Uh, if you find that's something you're comfortable being around, I'm glad to have you here. If you're here specifically to mock that, leave. You're not going to, but it would be nice if you did. I would appreciate it. You would appreciate it too, because you wouldn't be watching something that clearly makes you upset. I just want you to stop hurting yourself. That's all. Okay. Let's hit the buttons. There's the one that says Talos Principle 2. It is launching. Any moment now it will be launched, and then I'll take us to the live, so you'll be able to see it going. There we go. Again, developed by Crow Team and published by Devolver Digital. Oh, I meant to say this at the top of the stream. Hey, if you're a person who streams, this has been making the rounds, so it's very probable that if you're a person who streams, you know this already. But if you don't, apparently, Twitch and Amazon have been training AI on streams. You can opt out of it now. You need to go to twitch.tv/security/settings, and it's in there. It's on by default, so if you haven't bothered to turn it off, it is on. I suggest that you go turn it off because, quite frankly, Twitch already gets a lot of free fucking labor from streamers, and Jeff Bezos does not need that extra fucking money. Bezos? I think it's Bezos. Anyway. Time to play the game. Continue. Oh, right. So when last we left off, we had climbed the first tower of the east part of the island. We had a chat with the Sphinx, who, like a shitty Redditor, posed us philosophical questions and then sought to just devalue every response we made in bad faith. But that's over now. There's another puzzle on this island. Oh, let's do the chase thing, because I did a chase thing. But I failed at the chase thing because I got tripped up on where it was going. And I really wanted to see what the hell that does. So we come back out here to the beautiful sort of brutalist concrete grounds of the east part of the island. And I'm just gonna neum button my way over to this corner of the massive lake because there's a floating group of nanites that when we get close to them turns into a little comet that we follow. Except there isn't, and it's gone. Which I suppose means that it arrived wherever the hell it was supposed to arrive, and we just missed it. I can't say as I like that because I don't know what to do with it now. But fuck it, there's nothing I can do about it. Let's just continue. What the hell is that? It glowed for a moment. Inspect remains. New interface content available, sure. Oh, okay. Radiator, a device for generating heat. Unlike ourselves, our ancestors could only survive in a limited spectrum of temperatures. Devices such as this one allowed them to artificially create the conditions that allowed them to thrive. People could not live in Las Vegas if there was not air conditioning. What else is there around here that I can just find? Any other human trash to pick up and inspetigate? You want out? The cat wants out. One moment. While I'm at a pause, I'll just go ahead and take another sip of my water real quick. I had a honey thing earlier. I had a thing with honey on it. So I made tofu. Tempura grilled tempura fried tofu. So here's the thing about that. Remy usually makes the food. And so I knew how it went, but have not really done it before. And I'm not really sure what happened. I'm pretty sure I measured everything out all right, in the way I should, but it ended up being like watery. The tempura batter. And I sort of didn't think about that until I went to do the thing that we do with the tempura batter, which is because we don't want to just throw it down the sink. Once we actually cook up all the tofu, we'll take the tempura batter and just pour it into the fry oil and sort of make like a a dough ring for dessert. But apparently, the tempura batter, as I made it, was watery enough to cause a little bit of a grease whoopsie. There wasn't a fire. Let me say that there was not a fire. Fire didn't happen. Just an overflow of oil from the pot. It's cleaned up now. I probably should have known better, but I didn't. Nope, this is the way up to the other hidden puzzle. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to find the hidden puzzle that I apparently missed somewhere in here. There's going to be another puzzle room with that triangle shape outside of it. Actually, I'll tell you what. Let's just move on to the next area, and then we'll come back. And... Oh, did that particle mess go to the gate? Is that what happened? Hang on, let's go to the gate and see if something has lit up over there. Just for my own edification. It would make sense that that's what it would be going towards. It's an element that we don't know how to interact with otherwise. So let's go check that out. Let's come out this way. It's back here. All right. Oh, right, through the tunnel where we first heard the voice of Trevor. Who is a character introduced in this game and is apparently the like hardware engineer equivalent to Alexandra Drennan, who ran the project that created the AIs that we are. Oh, yeah, maybe that's it. One of these things is definitely lit up, so it's very possible that one of the that the purple thingy came all the way over here and went into the gold door and caused that to light. But I think I can't call that for sure. Fuck it. We'll figure it out later. In the meantime, let's just move on to East 2. Which way is the damn tram? I'm just gonna fuck your paths. I'm walking straight through the woods. exploring. Have we gone on top of this structure before? The one that has the, like, puzzle number 5 in it? I don't know if we have. I guess my question is, can we? Oh yeah, that goes up. Sort of. But not really. What's down in here? Let's just explore the waterfront. Not much. There's another of those verdigris statues. Which, rather than, pardon me, rather than being a classically masc or classically femme figure, is just a robot. I do like that because obviously I fucking do. Who the hell do you think I am, etc. We still have it, I guess, in one of the composition notebooks we have over here. We started writing a hip opera based on Gurren Lagann. This was years and years ago. We haven't really worked on it for a considerable period of time. This is one of those things where we weren't in a great place and we like started working on a creative thing and then we lost steam for it. I realized I didn't look around here when we first came in, the sort of opening area where the tram station is. But it doesn't look like there's much of interest. Oh, that's the track. Okay. I was like, that's a weird little, like, rail up there. Just like, oh, right, that's the track that the tram is meant to go on. Which, speaking of, let's get on the tram. Let's go to East 2. And let's knock out some more puzzles. It'll be fun. We are still actively working on the second, the script for the second Gleam comic. We realized that we sort of hit a writer's block where we couldn't figure out how to relay the information we wanted to relay, and then realized that we were doing it like exactly backwards. We still don't have a time frame on that, but like it's actually a a core premise in a universe that we find interesting to play in, and so we're kind of excited to see where.
All right, everybody. I'm sure you're all excited to check out the next site, but while you're there, remember that I'm still trying to fix the rest of the transport system. You know, to get that success rate up a bit.
I was being sincere, Melville.
Maybe there's another one of those labs that Wonka found. If there is, look for more documentation, please.
Okay. Zerp. I sort of like that it's low frame rate, honestly. Because it does give me much more like Cyan Worlds vibes. There's a part of me that just sort of wants, instead of like walking around, for it to be a sort of click forward to advance area kind of interface. I know that wouldn't work in terms of like the actual puzzles, because we need to be able to move in 3 dimensions for that. I think that's Byron. Hey, let's chat with Byron.
How can I help you?
What do you make of the Sphinx?
I don't know what she is, ontologically speaking, but those questions she asked reinforce my belief that we're being tested, or perhaps analyzed.
All right. Here's what bothers me about that, is that sort of inherent in that assumption is that you're being tested or analyzed by a person or entity that has good things in mind for you, which isn't necessarily the case. It is in this game, spoiler alert, but like, someone testing you doesn't necessarily mean they want you to be better. It just can mean that they're testing you because they're assholes. Quantum tunneling. What do we have? So here's, what the fuck are you? Take driller. Oh. So let's describe the driller, I guess. It's another thingy on a tripod. It's got a bunch of cross shapes at the front of it. When we pick it up, the cross shapes rotate around each other. And when we point it at a wall, we can create a hole in that wall. We cannot walk through the hole in that wall. So I'm not particularly sure what to do with it. We do have another one over here. And we put a hole through any wall. No, it's apparently just these walls that look like this. There are 2 buttons over here. And the only other things we have in this sort of puzzle mechanism are the 2 drillers. Cannot take driller through its own hole. Thank you for letting me know. But we can probably use this one over here and send it like across the room. Create a hole over there. Oh yeah, we can do that. And that'll let us take this driller out. We can pull that through this hole. Yes. Now we do that same thing over here. So we can take the second driller out. We bring that over here to this other copper wall. Then we use that same method to pull both of the drillers through this way. And now we have both of the drillers over here on this side of the wall, so we can just put them on top of the buttons. And hit the progress wheel. Phew. Fantastic. You love to see it. I feel like I need to explore a little bit harder rather than just walking along the preset fucking Disney paths. On the other hand, the paths is where I run into the rest of my robot friends, so let's have a chat with Al real quick.
What can I do for you?
What do you make of the Sphinx?
Whatever that being is, it told us that we stand before the fire. That can only be a warning, and I think we should take it seriously. We don't want another New Alexandria.
That's all, but I would really like to know what the hell happened to New Alexandria? Was there a library there? Did something terrible happen? Gonna head out this way. Oh, okay, there's the next tower, I guess. Yeah, because there's where the Tetramino Bridge is. What's this over here, though? Oh, the little Shaka ruins. Oh, there's a palm reader over here. Connecting. World spirit. What is it that drives historical processes? It's easy to dismiss the idea of the great man, or the great woman for that matter, when clearly so much is determined by resource distribution, pre-existing political structures, and the randomness of the universe itself. But is there no space at all for the individual in all of this? Are there not moments when, in Hegelian fashion, an individual may represent the world spirit itself? Was Napoleon history on horseback or not? Is that itself another form of determinism? From Augustus to Napoleon, from Lincoln to Lenin, there are individuals whose actions seem to drive rather than merely be driven by history. They make bold choices, for good or ill, that transform entire societies. Or do they? We like to blame them for their failures, but are they not ultimately just the expression of a historical moment? But if they are, where's the space for human agency? It sometimes seems to me that all of human history has been one struggle to carve out a space for free choice against the tides of history, and heroes and tyrants, pick and choose examples as you will, are both equally a reflection of that. Our greater goal, then, ought to be to extend that freedom to the maximum number of people, to become captains of our own fate as much as that is possible in this universe. Enjoy it. Hypatia's Journal. From Hypatia's Journals, Volume 1, The Founding of New Jerusalem. Day 14. Melampus and Yemo went back to the dam to get more charging equipment. They've not returned yet, which means that we're stretched a little thin, since we're still posting guards at all times. But those large herbivores haven't come back yet, and at any rate, Eustathius? I'm going to go with Eustathius. Assures us they're non-aggressive. But it's better not to take any chances, not when there's so few of us and so many of them. Athena and Cornelius and Eustathius spend most of their time drawing up plans and arguing, in a friendly manner, but arguing still. The rest of us are managing to tune them out pretty well. It's like background noise after a while. Hey, speaking of background noise, here's another chunk of hex code. I forgot to translate what I found yesterday. I'll do that and then report on my off time tomorrow, and then report back if there's anything terribly interesting. We have started construction on the first habitat. It's going to be a temporary structure for now, but we'll all be glad to get out of the rain. And then Trevor02.
So, what are you doing here, Trevor? Why are you trying to save the world? Well, look, I think humanity is awesome. I love humanity. As a species, we're great. I mean, our track record is pretty mixed, but have you seen everyone else? I mean, what did you do today, animal? Oh, I ate some leaves, sniffed my own butt, crapped myself, and went extinct. Or, I tore this other animal limb from limb, sniffed my friend's butt, crapped myself, and went extinct. They really don't do anything interesting. I mean, you don't see animals directing Big Trouble in Little China. Birds can go tweet, tweet, but it ain't exactly the White Album. I mean, they can't even make a good cheeseburger, for Christ's sakes. They have no art, no cuisine, no pleasure. Animals are nice to look at, but you wouldn't want to be one. Except maybe a cat. I could be a cat.
I got bad news for you about humans and how they're animals. Also, I got bad news for you about furries and how you're probably one. It's only bad news in the abstract once you, get used to the concept. I think you'll find it's great. You just need to get over that hump of, society told you that they were bad unilaterally. All right, let's head this way. Because I apparently went in a great big circle and got back to the main zone without meaning to. So let's pass puzzle room 1, move our way back to puzzle room 2. Mutual aid. We have a jammer. So that's cool. And a driller. And the driller is pointing a... I'm sorry, we have a red laser here pointing towards one of the copper walls that we can open with the driller. So let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, that lets the laser head right through to the receiver over there. So that puts us in a little courtyard with another gate that we, another barrier that we can't open. There's not a means for us to activate it, which means we need to have the jammer in here. And a couple of the copper walls. So I guess let's just bring the jammer in there, wherever that went. Over here, right. And we'll open that barrier and see what's over on the other side. A jam. Damn, there's another barrier over here. So we need to get the jammer through there. Presumably we need the... Oh, okay, I got it. So what we do is this. We grab the jammer. We use it to jam open that so that it doesn't need the laser anymore. That means that the driller is free to come with us. You got everything you need. We'll set the jammer right here, I think. Right against one of the copper walls. And use it to jam open that gate. That means we can take the driller through. Create a hole through the copper wall so we can pull the jammer through. And use it to jam open that thing. We need something to press that down. Or I guess we can just get the driller to do that. So yeah, let's do that. Grab the driller. Bring it over this way. Set it on the button. And progress the wheel.
I can't help but notice that many of these structures are not strictly functional. There's a sense of aesthetics, of beauty here. This place might be meant to test us somehow, but perhaps there's more to it than that.
Like, pretty things are pretty, man. At Alcatraz again? Yeah, that's Al again. Do a little bit of an explore. Over here behind that puzzle room, just to see what there might be. And there might not be anything. Which is fine. Now we can get on top of this crag. That's cool. We're very slightly taller. Whoops, that's a sheer drop. Let's not fall off of the sheer drop. Or, I don't know, what happens if we fall off the sheer drop? Oh, we die. Does it reload, or? Yes. The reload is after... Huh. There's a switch on the back of this. On the back of the number 2 sign. We can turn it on or off. It doesn't really appear to do anything. Has there been switches on the back of all of those? Let's look when we get to 3 and see if there is one. As we again just take a nice walk down this beautiful space. Full of gorgeous trees and splishy little puddles. There's a switch on the back of this. Okay, well, I've turned it on. Again, I don't know what that does. Back up. Back up, back up. Tell me what you're gonna do now. Keep rolling, rolling. So we have a driller. There's our progress wheel. It's behind a green locked gate. There's a blue laser emitter behind there. And I presume a red laser emitter behind here. Yeah. There's also a couple of like connectors and a converter, obviously. So we need to get the various elements out from behind their little spaces. Can we take the connector out of there? Yeah. And can we, having done that, connect the connector to the receiver? Well, almost. I just need to readjust where that is. There we go. There's our converter. Set that down there. And I guess we just kind of do the same thing on the other side, right? We just take the drill over here, put it up to the copper wall. There's not a reachable connector in there, but that's fine. There doesn't need to be. Just take the one we have. and connect the red emitter to that red receiver so we can actually get in that area where there's another connector. And let me have a look over here. So we need to be able to get both of these lasers out. You want back in? The cat wishes to be back in. 1 second. It is fine to let me know what you want. Okay, so I think we just okay, go ahead. Come down. Well, no, don't. Are you settled? There you go. Nice and easy. Alright, so we just grab this connector, I think, and we set it up over here. Now we'll take this connector, we keep both of those connections, but we also hit that other connector. And now we don't need this piece of door open, so we can take the driller over here and punch a hole in that wall. That'll expose the blue emitter, so now we can just get one of the red connectors, hit the blue emitter. That creates a green laser. We send that out to the green receiver. Except that I fucked up the angle a little bit, and that's fine. I just need to fuck up the angle less. There we go. That lets us get to our progress wheel. Hi, the demon dog. How's it going? We're still solving light puzzles. I had bratwurst, also I had Modelo. Nice. That sounds like a good combo. Back when we drank, we liked Modelo. We didn't have it a lot, because what the hell was that? We didn't have it a lot because it was like a. It was a better financial investment to just buy a massive thing of vodka, but it sounds like a delicious dinner. I'm very glad that you had it. I've mostly been trying to figure out a username tonight. A username for what? You can ignore that question if you want. Let's go ahead and turn that switch on too. Again, I don't know what those are doing. A username for the demon dog. I mean, it makes sense when you say it like that. The puzzle is called placements. Well, so here's our progress wheel just right out in the open. It's behind a barrier, and there's no way to activate the barrier that I can see, so we need a jammer in order to do that. Is there a jammer anywhere immediately visible? So, all we really have access to is this driller. Let's see what we can do with it then. We can use it to punch a hole in this wall. Does that do anything for us? Not really. In there, that area where we just punched a hole in, there's a box and a switch and a blue laser emitter. But we can't access any of those through the hole. Over here there's a connector, I guess. So we can just take that. I don't know necessarily what it's good for. There's a fan here. We can turn it on and off with a switch. That doesn't really help us. Oh, damn. Okay, so I had thought I needed a jammer in order to open that, but no, it's connected to a blue laser receiver. It's just that it's up. And I didn't look there because I'm a gamer. Damn. Okay. So, all right, I think I see it. So what we need to do is take the driller. put a hole through that wall. The one with the box and the emitter and the switch inside it. And we can take the connector we have and use that to press the switch, which will presumably open the barrier from the other side. Yeah. Then we can take the connector off and put the box on the switch instead. We take the connector out with us. Pull the box through the hole. And start building the device. As was foretold. Can I hit that from here, the receiver? Guess I can select it from here, it just won't activate until it's up in the air. But that's fine. We just need to make sure they're selected so that when I turn the switch on, there we go. We send the laser up in the air on the box, it hits the thing.
I keep thinking, why puzzles? Is it just their symbolic value because of our history? Because the thing about puzzles is they can be solved. But if this is about testing us, what are we being tested for? It can't just be about spatial reasoning.
Our curiosity? Our persistence?
Determination.
Assuming that this place follows a coherent logic, my impression is that it's full of contradictions.
Huh. Well, there's another palm reader in there. Oh, okay, we can get in it this way. I was looking through a crack, like, oh, why can't I fit through this crack? There was a larger opening on the other side. It's an audio file, which is apparently called Luftreise 2.
While exploring the forest, I came across a sight of primal force. A beautiful stag, standing on a hill silhouetted against the setting sun. It appeared like a messenger from some divine natural power, perhaps from Gaia herself. Even to a being such as myself, less susceptible to manipulation by instincts and hormones, it was clearly a moment of revelation.
Good for you, man. I'm legitimately glad.
Moments.
Oh, okay.
We are told to avert our eyes. But what if we do not? What will we discover if we look more closely? If we could speak to the stag, what wisdom would it have to offer? The answer is none. The stag is an animal of overwhelming stupidity, driven only by fear, hunger, and lust.
Hey.
There is no abyss for us to plunge into behind this revelation. Rather, the revelation is as flat and unreal as the plywood walls of a film set.
All right, first of all, Who do you think you are? Keeping connections. So what do we have? Here's a membrane that we can't carry things through. And another one, essentially making this a sort of airlock chamber. On the other side of it, there's an area with a red receiver and a connector behind a barrier. And that's where the red emitter is on the opposite side of the airlock. So and hum. Oh, okay, and here's our progress wheel. Which is also locked by a red receiver. One that would be really hard to get the laser over to, given the layout of the rest of the room. Huh. Is there anything else in here? Oh. I didn't see you. There's a whole other connector right here. So that's good. How do I... And what do I... along with that? Okay, I think I have it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the driller over here and punch a hole in here where the emitter is. We're going to grab our connector and select and set it down on the ground. And we're going to re-grab the driller, bring it over here. I'm going to right-click to keep connections. Connect it to the receiver as well, and put it through there. Yeah, just like that. That at least lets us get into this room so we can take this other connector. But we can't take both out because I need this to be active so that I can actually leave the room. Does the laser go through the membrane? Or does it die on the vine too? If we, No, it goes through. That's perfectly fine. Alright, so let's do that then. And then from here, we can select that connector over there, that receiver over there. Yep.
Any progress on the particle clouds, Melville? It's pretty clear they're integral to how all of this functions.
I've gathered a lot of data, but I still have a lot of numbers to crunch before I can give you an answer. And I can't guarantee that my answer won't be another question. I'm glad we don't get headaches.
Gonna do a little bit more of an explore. So here's the thing. I have been sitting here thinking about usernames for the demon dog, and the problem with that is that the one that like is stuck directly in my brain is like Demon Dog 666 because I grew up on AOL. But the other problem with that is that that was the username for a friend of a friend that I was around for a while, who was kind of a massive tool. Hellhound 420 is also good. Uppercase X, lowercase x, demon dog. Capital D is lowercase x, uppercase x. Five is over this way. I was thinking, like, since you've been learning German, like Freihund or whatever the hell is in German. Are you cute? Nope, it's Melville. Hi, Melville.
Yes?
Diamond Hund. Not terrible. Oh, we haven't, like, talked to Melville at all. Yet. So, hey, Melville, tell me about yourself.
Founders Pistons. You want my autobiography now? Fine. I'm one of New Jerusalem's chief engineers. I'm in charge of city maintenance and power management. I'm old as dirt, although not quite as old as that fossil Byron. In short, old, grumpy, keep stuff running.
Do you have any hobbies?
Hobbies? You think I have time for hobbies?
I mean,
That's cute. If I had time for hobbies, all of you would be dead.
really? Nothing?
What do you want me to say? I like bubble baths, candy, and the concept of Tuesdays. Cities don't maintain themselves. If you don't put real effort into keeping stuff running, it all falls apart in just a few decades. Civilization is always on the brink of collapse unless we do something about it. And I do.
Thank you for your service, I suppose. I hear you're a big fan of Yakute's cat.
Listen, One day, that furry little demon is going to pee on the wrong cable, and all of New Jerusalem will just turn off. Forget about the megastructure. He's the biggest threat to our security.
What is your evaluation of the megastructure?
It's big. It's too big. And it's got a lot of energy running through it. Frankly, I think we should be pooping our robot pants. See, that's what I mean about the language libraries. Pooping our pants. Really?
Well, I guess we would have to invent pants. Well, not invent. They've already been invented. We just have to make them. And then decide to wear them, and then figure out how pooping would work. Any progress on the particle clouds?
Yes, but I'm not liking the results.
What are the results?
Confusing, irritating, infuriating. Take your pick.
Okay, that's all.
Interesting monument.
Uh-huh.
Decorative for another puzzle.
It is a massive structure of a sphinx. Oh, okay, and there's a plaque in front of it that says 2478. In the same font that the signs in front of the puzzle rooms are. So I'm willing to bet that we need to turn on specifically 2, 4, 7, and 8. We already passed 2 and 4, so let's go back and do that. And I think I turned 3 on at some point also. Well, here's another of these statues. They don't appear to have a purpose. They're just massive eyeball flowers. Oh, there's a thingy back here. It's gold. It beeps and hisses when we get close to it. Oh, okay, that's a Prometheus token, I guess. One of the things that let us get hints. Or does it let us get hints, or does it let us just bypass the puzzle entirely? I think it lets us bypass a puzzle entirely if we're having a lot of trouble with it. I'm going to try not to do that. What was it? 2, 4, 7, and 8? Yeah. I think I did it. I'm really glad for you. What did you wind up with? Oh, hey. Okay, so the frame rate issue. The frame rate issue. An elk, I think, just sort of walked by. And when I say walked by, I mean that it, in a static pose, sort of slid. I access all of my poetic abilities to do this. Spawned by flames. I like it a lot. I think it's very good. I think I turned 3 on already. Yes, I did. So let's turn that off. We'll go check whether or not I turned 4 on. Okay, it did turn 4 on, so... That's set up. I just need to make sure I didn't turn 5 on, and then we can continue through this until we get up to, like, 7 and 8. It is 7 and 8, right? Yeah, 2, 4, 7, 8. Duets. Okay, so there's our progress wheel. We can't get to it like at all because it's like around a bend and there's clearly a barrier in the way. Over here there's a jammer that we can't do anything with either. And over here in its own little area, we have a driller. Is there any wall we can punch through with the driller that we can see immediately? Yeah, like over there. That'll open the area where the jammer is. Oh, okay, here's this thing. It's a fan launcher, but it's off. There's a switch that's running to it, but it's over there on the other side of the wall. But we can open a hole on that wall close enough to the switch, I think, to be able to activate it. So let's try that. You guys need to angle that dangle a little more expertly. As far over that way as I can get it. I think that'll do. Yes, okay. The switch is on, so this fan launcher is on. Presumably that's going to blow me, yep, over the barrier into that zone. Where the jammer is. Huh, okay. I can't really... We can set the jammer to open that barrier and then climb a ladder out. But I don't know if that actually helps. Like it doesn't, it just leads into a little, another little corridor that we can't actually get anything out of. Okay, so what about, hang on, let me get back over there. We... we jam that barrier over there, the one that the other... the one that the drillers are behind. I think we can't. Huh. Like, we can use this jammer to open this barrier, but that doesn't actually do anything for us because we can't get anything out of there. And we can't just use the hole we've already created to pull the jammer through it to get it out into here, because in order to, it would have to go past this membrane, and the membrane doesn't let us carry stuff past it. Oh, wait, can we? Hang on. I think I see it. There's another copper wall over here that leads into the... Well, that's a fun noise. There's another copper wall over here that leads into the area with the other driller. And I think if we create a hole there, then we can use the jammer we have to look through that wall and be able to jam the barrier that we couldn't see before. Yeah. Okay. And just climb out over the ladder. That lets us get back here. So I can take the driller and put it outside. Use that driller to create another hole that overlaps the first one, so we can take this first driller and put it outside. Now we have 2 hole drillers we can play with. What a liberty. I think we only needed 1. I think we just need to pop that down there. And then that'll open this little pathway, which ends in another barrier, but we can use the jammer that we have to jam that open, I think. We might have to use this other driller to open a hole in that wall so we can see the barrier in order to jam it. But that's fine, we can just do that. We'll say it's like that, and then if it's not, I'll figure it out later. Huh? Oh, that's fun. Thanks to some vagaries in the algorithmic generation, I think, the launcher has let me stand on top of the walls of this puzzle area. That's cool. You can just be up here. Is there anything up here that's, like, cool, or... I mean, I suppose if I want to, I could use this knowledge to, like, pull one of the drillers out of here. I don't know if I want to do that for any reason, so I'm not going to right now. Let's just solve the puzzle as intended. Well, apparently not like that. I need to bust open both of these walls, don't I? Yeah. So let's take this driller and use it to create a... No, we can't use that to create a hole in that wall, can we? Damn. Yeah, there's not really a place where we can see where the jammer would be able to see out of here in order to be able to hit that thing. I don't like that very much. Oh, the driller doesn't work through the membrane. That's interesting. Oh, no, it's not that it doesn't work through the membrane, it's that it doesn't work through the barrier. That makes more sense. Like, it feels to me like I need to get the jammer out of there somehow, but I don't think I can. Oh, okay, actually, I don't need to... Okay, that's what's wrong. I don't need to get the... I do need to get the jammer out of there. Cat, how did you manage to do that thing? So I do need to pull the jammer out of there, just not like all the way through. It's fine if it stays on like that side of the membrane. Because there's a place where if we put it outside, then we can let it see through the hole into that area in there and take down the barrier we needed to take down. There we go. Not a problem. What did I do with the other jammer? There it is. Or the other driller, rather. Damn, if I had 2 jammers, this would have been really easy. Oh. Pardon me, my eyes are itching. We did solve it, though. Ugh, it sucks.
You know something that's weird about these puzzles?
What's weird about the puzzles, you cute?
The simulation puzzles, like the ones in the museum.
Wasn't there an artist who did an exhibition a few years ago that involved new puzzles of some kind?
That was Barzai. It was called Trials of an Imagined Past. I tried to get you to come along. You thought it would be boring.
Were they similar?
No, not at all.
Was it boring?
I thought it was interesting.
Onward then to 6. Actually, is this? No, let's do one more, and then we'll go to the break. Or maybe 2, it depends on how long this one takes us. I gotta remember to turn on the switches for 7 and 8 when I see them. Passage. Alright. So what do we have? Having severe eye crispies. I'm not sure why. We have a couple of fan launchers. There's a ladder. What is the ladder leading to? Let's just go ahead. Climb that ladder, kid. Make yourself famous. Okay. There's a driller up here that's in its own little room that we can't really take it out of because it's up in the air. There's a copper wall we can drill through. But I don't know to what end. If we stand on the launcher, what does that do? Well, it was presumably supposed to put us in that room and not on the side of that room. But in that room, there's another fan launcher and another driller and a button. There's another fan launcher here, but it's not working. We would need to press a button, yeah, in order to get it working. And we don't currently have anything to press a button with, because both of the other puzzle elements we have access to are behind enigmatic walls. So let's try and figure that out. Let's actually just, like, push forward and see if we can't. No. No. No, it turns out. I tried to take the fan launcher to actually, like, land in that little room. Okay, there we go. Knew we could get there. So yeah. There's a driller in here. It doesn't immediately look like we can take it out. Because there's a membrane. If we press the button, that turns on the fan in that area, which, yes, will... Oh, cool. Which would take us into the elevated room that the other driller is in. I don't know what that does for us. Actually, what it did was make us hit a tree. I don't think that was the intended purpose. All right, let me get back in that other room real quick. Or try to. It's harder than it looks. I think the way that the frame rate is causing these to not activate the way they should. All right, made it back. Let's go ahead and take this. And there's another, like, little room over there. You can sort of barely see it, but there's a thing in there, and there's a copper floor underneath it. So presumably, we can use a driller to extricate that, but we would need to get a driller, like, out of here in order to be able to do that. And I don't really understand how I'm meant to do that thing. Really see what this is for. Like, we can create a hole in this wall, but this wall doesn't, like, lead out to anywhere. Hang on. Hang on. I think I got it. I think I got it. We get back into the room with the fan. Except we didn't. Let's try it again. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this driller. We're going to put it on this platform. Then we're going to launch it with the fan. And it went in a disappointingly small way. I forgot that in order to like make tripod things like that actually work with fans properly, they need to be on top of a box. So, like, this driller can look out this window, but it can't really do anything. Like, there's not a visible, like, copper wall to punch through with it. I can't peel the fan blade off of that launcher. I'll tell you what, this is a little disappointing to me, but I'm going to take the break right now and give my brain a little rest and then come back and see if I can't figure out what it is I'm missing. Before I head off to the break, I would like to take this opportunity to remind you that Black Lives Matter, that Indigenous lives and lands matter, the lives of people of color matter, that Palestinian, Ukrainian, Sudanese, Congolese, Iranian lives matter. There are many ways to be in solidarity with your fellow travelers upon this earth, and we like to push for direct mutual aid. It helps people who are suffering right now suffer less, and people who are suffering less can stand shoulder to shoulder with us that little bit taller. So, on the break, I'm going to go to the mutual aid hashtag on my social media and boost what needs I can there. I recommend that you take the opportunity to check out some mutual aid initiatives in places you operate, both online and in meat space, because the only way we get out of this is through, and the only way we get through this is together. In the meantime, maybe do a stretch, have a snack, drink some water, do whatever self-care is useful to you. I'll do the same. And I'll catch you back here in just a little bit. Hey, I'm back. I I'm aware. I was aware that you couldn't see anything that's happening. I was just sort of looking around the area to see if there's anything really obvious that I had missed that I could like come on to like sign in and be like, oh hey, here's what I missed. But no, here's what I did miss. So that's where we need to get. And we need to use the fan launcher to help us get up there. In order to do that, we need something to press on the button so that we can step on the thing and have the fan launcher launch us. But also, there's a barrier in front of it, and I don't think that the fan launcher is going to launch us up past the barrier. I think that the thingy up on top of that little stack there is a jammer, and I think we're going to need to use that jammer to take down that barrier, which actually that's something that can be done all on its own, I think. Like, if we get the jammer down here, then we can use it to both weigh down the button and jam open the barrier. But I don't know how to get the jammer down. There's 2 copper floors between it and us, so presumably if we can get the drillers that we have trained on it, we can just drop the jammer down and then we can use it. But I don't know how to get the drillers the hell out of their little driller prisons. Let's have another look real quick. Oh, sure. Hope you had a good break. I went and got my water out of the freezer. And now I'm applying some lemon squeezy to the water. The sour taste. Okay, so here is a driller. It cannot drill anything out through that set of bars because it's not the kind of bars that it can drill out through. It can make a hole through this wall, but that doesn't fucking matter. Because there's nothing of interest out that way. There is another driller over here. Just let me check this corner and see if I missed something, anything. That I don't appear to have. Alright, so let's launch ourselves into that other room. And we didn't make it, so let's do it again. There we go. So, in this room, there's another fan launcher with a button to make that fan launcher go. And a driller. can't use the fan launcher to extricate the driller, because that's not how those things work. We can't grab the driller and then take it out with us because we don't have anything to weigh down the button. There is a window out here that the driller can look through, but there's nothing, like there's no copper walls out of this window visible that we can make holes in. So that's also nothing. We can look out of the membrane this way also. That's keeping us from just taking the driller with us, but that doesn't do that either. There's not copper walls around here to look out of. Go ahead and like do this thing again, where I weigh down the button and then use the fan launcher to launch me over this way. See what that does. It does put me in this room where the other drill is. I like that, but so the fuck what? I can just walk up here. There's a ladder. If I could get the other drill out of here that way, then that would be useful, because then I could make a hole and then just drop the second drill through the hole. But I don't appear to be able to do that. Oh! I'm silly. Okay, so I had to... it's fine. There's a fan blade. I can detach the fan blade from this mechanism, and I can use that to weigh down the button. That's the thing I was missing. Oh fuck. Uh-oh. I wasn't supposed to be able to do this. Uh-oh. I need to be very careful about how I do that. Okay. Well, that's unideal, but at least I didn't fuck the puzzle entirely. Okay. One more time. All right. Actually... Okay, great. Fantastic. Love it. Like it, love it, need it. I'm gonna grab this. Use the fan blade. To weigh down that button, that means we can take the driller with us. Take me with you instead. All right, and just like I said, well, no. There we go, we just dropped that other drill outside. And that having been accomplished, we can use the driller that's now outside to make another hole. And drop the driller that's in there outside. There we go. Perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. so now we point this one up to create a hole in the roof from our position, but floor from the jammers. Now we do that again. Wonderful, exactly what I wanted. So no, not quite. We're missing a step. Because I need the fan blade back, and I do that by taking the jammer into that floating room with the window. Because the jammer can actually do something useful out of that window. It can both weigh down the button that the fan is currently weighing down. Except I don't really need that, but whatever. I might as well do it anyway. For style points. And jam that open. Or no, I do need to do that. Because I need to... Well... That's not the way that should have worked. On the other hand, I don't care. Set that fan blade down on the thing. Take one of these drillers to activate the button. And then become launched. I said become launch to our goal. Hooray.
That was well observed, 1K.
Thank you, it took a while. I had to take a break and everything. That was 6, right? Yeah. Let's, keep... I was about to say let's keep steezing on over to 7, and I don't mean that. Let's do a look around first. Okay, that's where the Sphinx statue is. We'll come back around to that on our own time. What's this thingy over here? That's the rotunda where we got a message from that guy who was very unimpressed by the stag. Right? It's just, it's on down the road. Is that another bunker? Yeah, I guess it must be. Alright. So let's head in here. A little further down. See what's waiting in here. Can I fuck around with the switch box? No, apparently. It does not want me to fuck around with the fuse box. Which makes sense. Neither can I open this bulkhead door. Mad about it.
This is very similar to the structure where you found the schematics.
Mm-hmm. There's whatever the hell that is. Sort of showing a gravity well. I am tired of the way that you call God your dad.
Wow, that's a lot bigger than I expected.
What were they doing here?
And who are they?
I mean, clearly what they were doing is science, and they succeeded. We've come out of the sort of dingy concrete bunker into one of the more Mass Effect rooms. This one has another table. I'm willing to bet that this shows what the... Oh, no. I was going to say I was willing to bet that this would show what the driller does, but it's not showing a driller. It's got another laser array on it. And a sort of spiked thingy in the middle of it. When a blue laser is shot into it, it changes the laser to red. When a red laser is shot into it, it changes the laser to blue. What does green do? Unknown. Not even set up. Was there a palm scanner over there? Yeah. Stratton ideas. The Origin of Thought, a fragment from Stratton's The Origins of Thought, as quoted in a commentary by Simplisticus of Cilicia. I'm amazed I managed to say that correctly. If indeed I did say it correctly, I have no way of knowing. Stratton. To say that material things are brought into being by ideas is to flatter ourselves, which is an error philosophers are particularly prone to, because it raises those who think above those who do. Nicomachus, I think. Then what is the truth that does not flatter? Stratton, that the reverse is true. Ideas are brought into being by matter, and so each man's ideas are shaped by the world that surrounds him, as clay is shaped by its mold. Those who live in mountains fear cold, those who live in deserts fear thirst. The Athenians are shaped by Athens, and the Lacedaemonians, that's as close as I'm going to get, I think. The Lacedaemonians by Sparta, and likewise it is for all peoples. Nicomachus. But may ideas, if we take each man to be an idea, not by deliberate action, alter the shape of the mold, as you put it? Stratton. To discover a method for accomplishing this is chief purpose of philosophy, my friend. Footnotes. The newly discovered Heraclean manuscript, likely a lost part of the Barocci collection, contains an additional passage that differentiates between pneuma, the individual mind or spirit, described as an energy arising from matter, and ideas, which are produced by the pneuma as it interacts with the material world. There is some commentary below, more dialogue. We don't know who this is because they are all listed as failed to load profile. Philosophy is useless if it offers no way of changing things. At least Stratton tried and didn't lie to himself. But how can we change the shape of the mold? Stratton never says. Perhaps by demonstrating the fact that other shapes are possible. We can't change it all ourselves, but perhaps we could, like Alexandra Drennan, create the conditions for change. Nomai Project 3. Trials 108 to 242. Version 0.05 deployed successfully. Reversion to previous settings fixes malfunction. But what was the error? Cooling systems improved. Trials 243 to 505. Version 0.06 deployed successfully. Significant improvement to disassembly. New lab space carved out and then a chunk of hex code. Easy to destroy, harder to create. So easy to optimize only one aspect. Trials 505 to 719. Version 0.07 deployed successfully. Improvements to a shit ton of hex code. Version 0.08 halted. Insufficient energy for trials 719 through 802. And another schematic. It was downloading, and the download process took us way past 100.
Every day, we take another step forward. Every day, we come closer to the truth. The closer we get, the more I can see the beauty of the universe, the intricate perfection of its mechanisms. I am a machine, and the universe is a machine. Every part of me serves a purpose, or I could not be myself. I could not be Miranda, because that specific person could not exist without those specific parts and their specific functions. In the same way, every part of the universe serves a purpose. I think that is what we were meant to discover here.
Incoming group call as though there were any fucking doubt.
You just connected to an extremely powerful data stream. Are you all right?
I think I had a vision?
Yes, you were streaming. We all saw something. You're lucky it didn't fry your motherboard. Please, everyone, let's be careful with these terminals from now on.
Yes, let's all try not to die. More importantly, who the hell is Miranda?
There's no one by that name in New Jerusalem. I just searched the database.
It must be one of the people who built this place. Maybe it's a nickname, or your guess is as good as mine. Your guess is as good as mine.
I think it's a new person. Someone we've never heard of before. Someone born outside the city. Maybe I'm wrong. We have to find out more.
But where did they come from? And how many people does it take to build something this huge?
Like I said, we need to find out more.
Well, you'll be happy to hear that I'm about to fix another part of the transport system. Thanks for the files, 1K. I hope they didn't fry your brain.
I mean, no more than anything else. There's another palm reader up here. Even though we did just get electrocuted, let's go ahead and activate this one willy-nilly. Untitled Draft. Saint Edwald identified the tetromino with the tetragrammaton and the Greek word for God, because to him the mathematical properties of the tetromino reflected God's ability to reshape the world without breaking its laws. Elohim, in his desire to impose meaning on the simulation, which was his primary function as a storyteller after all, took Edwald's heretical ideas and integrated them as the sigils of his name. But despite all these layers of obfuscation, there is some kind of truth hidden in all this. The world really is, in a sense, made up of minute parts that can be combined and recombined without breaking the underlying laws. Everything that exists is made of the same fundamental materials, and those materials are brought into existence by the same fundamental functions of reality. And yet, the miracle of existence is that we are not all one, but are in fact radically different and separate, accompanied by another chunk of hex code. New Alexandria. Oh good, I was hoping we'd learn about this. From the Book of Reminiscence and Regret by... Oh, how did I decide to pronounce this? Eustathius, I think. In the early days of our people, a great deal of responsibility fell on my shoulders. There were few of us then, and though we are stronger and hardier than any human, we are not invincible. The world was an overgrown ruin, and our resources extremely limited. It was a harsh time, but I felt passionate about the work, fired up by the many sacrifices that had brought us here, from the Ian team to the people of Gehenna, whose code was part of my personality. Bit by bit, New Jerusalem grew. We had to adopt some of the plans Drennan's team had left behind. I don't think they had expected the simulation to take as long as it did, but it was all working. That's when I made a terrible mistake. Thinking it was a way of safeguarding against disaster, I proposed the creation of a second settlement, New Alexandria. As the location was far from the dam that powers New Jerusalem, I attempted to build a thermal power station that would take advantage of a local gas reservoir. However, I foolishly used geologic data from the archive, failing to account for the amount of time that had elapsed. 5 years later, this error led to an accident that leveled the settlement and killed 31 of my fellow citizens. Of all my many regrets, this is the greatest. Failed to load profile. Eustathius never forgave himself for this mistake. He drifted away, isolated himself from everyone in New Jerusalem. But was it really his fault? Yes, he made a mistake, but why was the entire weight of the New Alexandria colony placed on his shoulders? A simple process of review and discussion could have prevented the entire disaster. Doesn't that mean New Jerusalem as a whole is at fault? He did his best. I feel sorry for him. But the dead remain dead, and that has to be faced. Ethics of extinction. If a species we considered beautiful and remarkable goes extinct, we consider that a great evil. Dolphins, for example. If dolphins go extinct, that's a great loss. If humanity causes dolphins to go extinct, that's a crime. But if Yersinia exists, the bacterium that causes bubonic plague goes extinct. Is that an equally great loss? If not, why not? To nature, there's no difference. It's all just life forms. The only moral framework that allows us to choose between dolphins and the plague is a human one. What about a species going extinct without anthropogenic? What about a species going extinct without anthropogenic factors? Extinction is the norm. If one day dolphins are no longer capable of competing with other species, should we let them go extinct? When the sun finally dies and all life goes extinct, will that be a tragedy? If we can prevent it, should we? If you believe that extinction is acceptable when nature does it, but not when we do it, then you don't actually oppose extinction. You don't believe that dolphins are inherently valuable, that they deserve to live and thrive. You just oppose human control. You oppose our ability and responsibility to choose. I think I like that one less. Sort of it sits in a wheelhouse that I'm very uncomfortable with, that presumes that like humankind, for lack of a better term, is the tip top of everything. Rulers by right, and therefore saddled with that responsibility. I don't really think that's the case. Another eyeball flower. Hey, cute. There you go.
I can't stop thinking about Miranda. A new person not born in New Jerusalem? Can you imagine that? I wonder what it's like to be her.
Depends on who created her. Probably not that different. Lonely. Maybe she is more free than we are. Probably not that different.
How do you mean?
Everyone has the same problems. There's a common baseline to all rational beings, but I barely sentence. I barely spent any time in New Jerusalem, and I'm not that weird. Uh, I think there's a common baseline is the closest to the idea.
But doesn't our environment influence who we are? Our values, our sense of meaning? You were born into New Jerusalem at this specific point in time as the completion of the goal. Doesn't that affect who you are in a unique way?
It makes me really mad at people treating me like I'm some big deal when I am literally just a person. That stuff is superficial and doesn't really matter to our deeper selves, but we're still all material beings trying to survive. I don't really care about the goal or any of that, or I guess you're right. Like, but the fact I don't care about it so aggressively is, like, due to the fact that I am indeed shaped by the ideas that are put on me by the society that surrounds me. I guess you are right.
I'm not denying that we have agency, by the way, but Miranda, whoever she is, will be a different person than she would have been in the city. Just like you would be different if you were born here.
I wanted to ask you about something else. What do you make of these labs?
They're very different from the rest of these structures in that they serve a clear purpose. Everything else is kind of surreal, but the labs are places where people lived and worked. I don't know what that means, but I think it means something.
What do you think the towers are for?
Maybe they're for powering up the megastructure? Or maybe they just open it, like keys. Why? No idea. But aren't they gorgeous? Just incredible feats of engineering?
I agree, they are beautiful.
I don't know who built this place, but whoever they were, they must have had a purpose. Making something so beautiful feels like a statement of intent.
All right, that is all.
There's another one of those monuments.
What? Where? Oh, hey. This one has, statue of a person on top of it. And it's showing us this. Oh, neat. Let's look at the research that we've been ignoring. Some puzzles seem different from the rest. Some of the puzzles seem to be disconnected from the rest. They're still functional and can be used to power the bridge device, which means it should be possible to reach the tower without solving every main puzzle, but they don't seem to be properly integrated. Could they be remnants from a previous iteration of the design? And it also helpfully gave us a picture of the engraving in front of the Sphinx statue, in case that we forgot the 2746 thing, 2748. Social media stuff. Luftreise. So 1K found a recording of Luftreise, and what an odd recording, too. I know he's one of our first companions, but I don't actually know that much else about him. I don't think I've ever seen him around, either. Could someone explain? Luthrazer always had an unusual perspective, even in the very beginning. He traveled a lot, sometimes leaving for years. He built a kind of mobile recharging station, so he didn't need to come back to the city as often. Although it was quite risky, as the solar panels had a tendency to break rather quickly. But he had no problem taking risks if he felt they were necessary, and exploration was necessary to him. Luthereza would record his thoughts as he explored and then publish them when he returned. Over the centuries, he accumulated a group of admirers, or disciples, if you prefer. In the period of crisis surrounding Athena's disappearance, they left the city, headed into the unknown, and we haven't heard from him since. Is the recording I found one of the ones he published back in the day? No, not as far as I can tell. Perhaps it's something he decided to shelve, or something he only shared with close friends like Athena. Thank you, that was informative. The Progenitor Portrait Series. A picture of Alexandra Drennan made out of pointillated stars. Hi everyone, this is the latest in my portrait series. I've always had a deep respect for the progenitor, Alexandra Drennan. She didn't just create the founder and save humanity, she also tried to instill us with a sense of beauty and wonder. It was good to be human, a quote attributed to her. As usual, please keep in mind that we should focus on engagement with the work. Don't ask yourself whether it's good or bad, but how it makes you feel. Beautiful work, Rodamna? Gives me a bittersweet, wistful feeling. She must have been a great person. To me, it really captures her bravery in the face of what the cosmos had thrown at her. It's well done, but I'm not sure it's appropriate for us to depict the progenitor in this way. We can respond, because why not? It's important to remember she was a real person. Your painting powerfully evokes her belief in a brighter future. I agree, this really highlights her bravery in the face of death. We shouldn't forget other people contributed too. Or the painting makes me sad. I think it's important to remember she was a real person. You're right. She was extraordinary, of course, but she was a human being like any of us. I don't think you can say the progenitor was like any of us. That's like saying the founder was like any of us. But they were. That's the point. You're new to this world, so I understand your ignorance, but it would be best if you were a little more respectful. The founder created the goal. She created you. Keep it civil. What 1K was trying to explain, Thekla, was that the progenitor and the founder weren't some different class of being. They were made of the same stuff as we are. That doesn't take away from what they accomplished or how incredible they were. It just means that humans can be truly amazing. Here lived a race of giants. And of course everyone had stuff to say about Miranda. So, for anyone who missed it, Byron's expedition has recovered evidence. Oh, damn it. How did that even happen? Who dares? For anyone who missed it, Byron's expedition has recovered evidence of the existence of another person, someone not from New Jerusalem. Who could this be? What does this mean? Maybe there's another city out there. Who says there was only one simulation? Maybe there are thousands of people we've never met. I really hope so. There is only one founder. I hate to agree with Thekla, but all historical evidence we have points to that conclusion. There were some other attempts, but as far as we know, they all went wrong or failed. There's more that we don't know than there is that we know. There's more that we don't know than there is that we know. I did say it right the first time. It's not sitting well. That sentence is going to make my brain crash. Oh, thank you, Zagarin. Why do we think Miranda is from Earth? There's no evidence to support that idea. I'd like to hear more about these other attempts to save humanity, or I really don't think it's alien Jacques. Everything here is obviously related to New Jerusalem. I think I'm going to sidestep the it's aliens, it's not aliens debate, because it's patently a thing. I'd like to hear more about the other attempts to save humanity. Well, some people affiliated with the Institute for Applied Pneumatics tried to set up a secondary site at another dam, But after about a century, the dam collapsed and took whatever was happening inside that system with it. There was also a similar attempt by another organization, but without the test of free will that Alexandra Drennan devised. According to Liftrazzer, it never produced a viable mine before it ran out of power. Could there still be others out there? Theoretically, yes, but even our dam would have collapsed without extensive repairs, and even a nuclear power plant would have run out of fuel by now. Fair enough. So... here's another of these. It's another monument, and there's a plaque on the front of it that sort of looks like a big circle with some pointy bits coming off of it. I don't know what it is intended to tell me. We'll come back to it. In the meantime, let's do puzzle number 7. And I gotta remember to flip the switch on the back of the number 7 board. There we go. Eye of the Needle. Okay, so have a quick look around. So there's our progress wheel. It's behind this barrier. The barrier is locked by a blue, receiver. And there's a blue emitter right there. We also have access to a drill and a couple of rooms that are accessible via button. So let's go ahead and explore those as best we can. Well, this one's empty. It's just there's another, there's a copper wall over there. Okay, so we can't get into this area by normal means, but there is on the other side of that copper wall I mentioned is a box, and then a little area with a jammer in a jammer jail. Alright, so let's not fuck with that immediately, I don't think. Let's go ahead and take this connector that we now have, and we'll just open this barrier. Okay, there's another barrier over here, which is also locked by a blue laser. So we're going to need a way to get the laser from all the way over there to here, with like one connector and a jammer. How do we do that thing? Oh, first of all, and foremostly. Oh, we can't do that, can we? I was trying to use the driller to weigh down a button and open a hole in the copper wall, but I can't do that because the driller can't drill through a barrier, and the barrier's not up as long as the button is not pressed. So that's fine. we can just take the connector and press down the button that way. Then we can use the driller. We'll just bring it in here. No one's gonna fucking stop us. Here we go. Create the hole, take the hexahedron with us. And can we get over there? Can we put the box down right there and use it to jump over that piece of fence? I think that piece of fence might be too tall. But fuck it, let's try it anyway. We'll just take the... Come here. Take the box and the driller with us. Thank you. We can actually just use the driller to weigh down this button. Okay, we can get over the box, get over the fence that way. So that lets us into the jammer jail. And we can't get the jammer out of jammer jail. But I don't think we're supposed to get the jammer out of jammer jail. Okay. I think what we need to do is, because there's another copper door over, another copper wall over here that we can punch through. So let me take this connector, and we'll switch out the connector for the driller real quick. Ah, darn. So I was hoping that we could get the jammer to jam the barrier just in front of the progress wheel open, but we can't because there's like a fence in the way. So we can't do that, but we can use it to jam open that other barrier over there, so we don't need to use the connector to... We don't need to use the connector to do that. And then I think we can take the box, use it to press the button. Then we'll take the connector that we have now. We can just select the emitter over there, all the way around here, through the jammed open gate. And then, can we see the blue emitter from over here somewhere? It feels like we should be able to. Yeah, I just kind of need to make sure I keep this. There we go. Perfect. Bang it. Wheel progressed. That's enough to open the gate so we can get to the tower, but I don't want to do that.
Extract an audio file from 1K's data stream incident. It's hard to be sure because it's just a fragment, but I think it's some kind of log or diary.
We finished a new lab today. Some processes are still harder than others, but energy output was up 2,000%. It's incredible how each leap forward enables another. The next iteration of the machine will...
I don't know.
As we suspected, someone was experimenting here. But experimenting on what? What was this machine they were building?
Maybe it's whatever powers the megastructure.
It bothers a little bit when you just call it the machine. It gives it a little bit of a sinister air. Like, theoretically, you want to name it something that gives you some idea of what the hell it does, right? Is this the other, Nope, this is 8. Okay. No, this is Patrick. Oh, hey. I didn't expect that noise, but I'm very grateful to it. It lets us know that we actually did the Sphinx thing properly. So, we'll go ahead and look at that here in a second. Seesaw. Right, what do we have? We have a connector. And we have a driller. And we have a blue and red laser emitter, both of which are behind copper walls. And in front of us, there's a barrier. It's red locked. In the room beyond it, there's another barrier that's blue locked that has the progress wheel behind it. This is easy, I think. We're gonna grab this. And we'll blast a hole in that wall. So that we can open the red gate. That gives us access to another connector. Go ahead and select the blue emitter and receiver, and then make sure we're in a place where it can reasonably be seen by both. Except it can't, because the wall's there, but that's fine. Huh, I thought that was going to be easier than it was, because I had kind of assumed that I could just take the driller into there and then point it at the while blocking the blue laser, and it'd just do that. No, I've just missed one step. Okay, so what I need to do first is use the 2 connectors I have to I don't even really need to do it that way. I can just do it like this. And that'll let me bring the cutter into here. And now that having been done, drop them like that. Hang on, I'm gonna move the blue connector just a little bit. So yeah, it can be a little more central and I won't be guessing quite so hard as where I need to put that. Right, but all that's set up, so we just take the driller and then point it back over this way. And connect it to the blue wall, except I put it in the exact place where it was going to block the beam. So that's great. Damn it, I can do this. There we go. Perfect. Creamy and delicious. I think our microphone is quieter now. Oh, I moved it away from the face. Accidentally while I was maneuvering things. Thank you for letting me know. We're gonna skip chatting with Yakut for right now. Or that's Al. Sorry, Al. And instead, because it's 9 o'clock and it's getting to about stream time, I'm just gonna go ahead to the gate. We'll use the tetrominos to cross the tower and see what's happening over there. Maybe I'll get mad at Sphinx again. Who knows? All right, so there's the tower. So we need to go out and around this way. Is this better, by the way, or is the microphone still quiet? It's better. Wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, I moved and I think the mic arm got underneath my chin, which is not ideal. Ourselves over to here. where Melville is just kind of chilling. We're not gonna talk to Melville right now either. We're gonna do this. Or, no, not like that. Rotate it. And rotate that. And yes, wonderful. We've built our Tetromino bridge. Seems very happy that we did that. Oh shit, there's a whole nother one. Like this. Surely not. No, it can't be like that. I think you need to start with a different piece entirely. Like this one. And maybe if we rotate that, yeah. There we go. Now we make our way to the top of this tower and see who's at home. The cat is doing some sort of chase or fight in her sleep. All right. It's not Sphinx.
Halt, creature of clay.
Pandora.
You have strayed from your garden and entered a domain that is beyond your ken. Turn back now, before you harm yourself and others.
Maybe fuck off. The fact that these folks are made of particle effects is really letting the frame rate be inflamed. Pandora, another purple hologram, surrounded by orbiting lights. This kind of figure of a woman staring right at us. We were invited here.
Prometheus had no authority to summon you. He is rash and foolish and given to trickery, but his schemes lead only to ruin. Therefore heed my warning. The flame is not for you.
We will consider your words. We need to know what is going on here for the safety of New Jerusalem. We're not just going to leave because you had a bad experience with a magic box. We need to know more about these technologies for the future of New Jerusalem. I'm not going to do that. We're not going to leave just because you had a bad experience with a magic box.
You speak in jest, as Prometheus is wont to, and like him, you are a fool.
Say it like it's a bad thing. Another laser has come out of the ground. Is extending its whole railgun shit.
How many of those bloody things are there?
I think that was Pandora. which matches the other one being Prometheus.
They seem to be locked in some kind of conflict.
Might be wise to avoid getting caught in the crossfire until we understand what these entities actually are.
All right, so the path to the next area is already open for us. And we'll do that tomorrow. Right now, I want to go back to the Sphinx statue. Since we correctly pulled down all the switches we were supposed to, and see what the hell is over there. Well, uh-oh. All right, well, I fell down. It was an extended process. All right, let's try that again. Only without falling this time. Yes, yes. Once again, without the oops. I presume the thing we want to go look at is the blinking thing on our compass up there. Let me carefully engage this bridge, and then we can go look at it. And then we'll call the stream. There's also a couple of question marks on our compass still. I should go look for those, but not right now. Okay. So, there's a gold thingy over here.
Every answer leads to another question. The last answer leads to the first question.
Fantastic. Cryptic. Thanks. Another mystery to solve. I've discovered what seems like another mystery to solve. Stars, clearly inspired by the simulation, which are gained by solving puzzles related to these monuments to Pandora, Prometheus, and the Sphinx. Perhaps these stars are somehow related to what Yakut dubbed the Astronomical Temple. Oh, right. That's how we get those.
I think that was more like a recording. The entity didn't appear, and the system didn't react either.
Stars. Another reflection of the simulation.
All right. So, that's gonna be it for the moment. Tomorrow's gonna be more of this, and I'm gonna go see what those question marks are on our compass. We'll deal with that. But till then, I'm September of the Free Association. Thanks for joining me, Demon Dog. Thanks to Anyone watching this as a VOD, love you. I want you, keep yourself safe. Find something to do and do it. Later.